A juvenile detention center in Red Lake remains vacant 7 years after it was originally built. Our Lacey Monteleone is in the studio with more. Lacey?
Dennis, officials in Red Lake say the detention center has reached a stalemate. And even after winning a settlement against the Bureau of Indian Affairs, things are still not moving forward. For officials in Red Lake, it's hard not to be frustrated.
We have this beautiful building here that's quite capable of addressing their needs, but like I said, the money has just not come through to put it into operation.
The building is meant to be a minimal security juvenile detention center. Built by the Department of Justice 7 years ago, officials here have waited for the building to be staffed by the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
The Bureau, has tried to say, well, other federal agencies should be responsible, and other federal agencies have said other people are responsible.
But for officials here, the most important thing is the children, who may be falling through the cracks.
If there's one person who could have been helped and wasn't helped, then that has a negative effect on the community.
This juvenile detention center has 3 classrooms, each designed to hold 8 students apiece. But as you can see, they're empty.
I mean, it's a great building. It had a lot of potential, and it still has a lot of potential for the kids that we have that live within the reservation.
But for officials, it is a building with potential that may not be realized for some time. The Bureau of Indian Affairs has said that the building does not meet the minimum requirements for a juvenile facility.
It's easy to say, oh, it doesn't fit the criteria. I think to me that's just kind of a scapegoat.
Adjustments could be readily made at that facility, so that's not a valid argument.
Officials do say the Bureau does remain committed to working with the tribe to find a source to fund the building.
They just seem to be unable to get the level of progress that they need to make movement on the situation.
But until that happens, the building will remain as it is, empty. Officials say they are also worried because the Bureau of Indian Affairs plans to discontinue funding to keep the building maintained after this December. Dennis, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lacey, for that live report from the studio tonight. Red Lake officials say they are hoping to set up a meeting with the Office of Management and Budget, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and other federal organizations to begin a plan to get the detention center funded and staffed, but there is not a timetable in place for when that might begin.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.